Like we didn't have enough wars in the world already. We have two more on the horizon. And because of these two possible wars, people are discussing whether Bitcoin is going to survive or it's going to go to something like $20,000 or below $20,000 because of these two wars in particular. So without any further ado, let's just jump straight into this. And people don't really care at this time. It seems like people don't really care much about the bullish close in the weekly that we have right now with quite a bit of volume. Even though, quite frankly, we didn't close above this very important resistance that I really wanted to see a close above right here, 42K that I mentioned in a previous video. Guys, please subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're always notified when I make a new upload. And here, even though the weekly looks quite good, we still didn't break above into this back onto this bull vicinity, so to speak. So it still is in the cards to see a retest of the lower prices, which in turn would give us the opportunity to finally get our trade on Ethereum finally opened. And remember, these are the areas that I actually marked in terms of the price for my orders, 2,150 and 2,000 for the time being. So if we do go lower, and again, the price didn't come to my order by like, what, 17 bucks right here? Just all the way down here, 17 bucks, really. But anyway, there is a possibility of us actually reaching that price target. But again, everything in due time. And this, people are discussing this despite everything that we're seeing right now. And let me show you just a quick recap before we talk about the two wars and before I give you my conclusion as to what is going to happen because of those two wars, if those were to actually break out. And remember that I'm trading over on Bybit, and me personally, I think that just in general, Bybit is probably one of the most reliable exchanges out there that doesn't have any stupid FUD about it. And it also, for the time being, gives the craziest deposit bonuses and just general bonuses. But only you can claim those only if you're going to use my exclusive link down in the description of this video to Bybit. And even if you already have an account, you can create a new one using your other ID, maybe your driver's license or something else besides the one that you've used for your previous account if you already had a Bybit account. So you can use another ID and create a new one using my link down in the description of this video, and you can claim up to $30,000 in initial deposit bonuses. And also, because if you use my link, you will also get access to, here, all deposit users get access to my Crypto Signals community for absolutely free. There is a link to it down in the description of this video, and there is 40,000 traders in there, and currently here, I'll put it on the screen. These are the results posted by our members that actually just simply see what we take, what we buy, what kind of altcoins we buy, what kind of trades we take, short trades, long trades, scalp trades, day trades, swing trades, etc. So, and we as a community, we make crazy money together, and it's free, but only for Bybit and BitGet traders. And for that, you need to use my link down in the description of this video. And there is an instruction of how to join it when you go and click on the community link. And there is instruction inside the Discord, very simple to follow. So now getting back to this and a quick recap, first of all, like short-term technicals, again, very nice bullish close in the weekly that we're seeing right now, which again, a very short term. But overall, if we look at the inflation seems to be going down in terms of at least PC. So we have some kind of a hopium that we're going to have soft landing and not any recession, which could have an effect on all markets. Then we also see that the grayscale possibly, and this is what we've discussed before, possibly has already, finished selling all they wanted to sell. So the selling pressure could be slowing down. Certainly the same thing goes for the amount of exchange reserves, which there is a record low amount of Bitcoin on exchanges. So once there is some kind of disbalance, just price has the opportunity to skyrocket. Also, we have the Bitcoin halving coming up, and we currently are in the halving zone, which is within the next 70 days, the halving. So this means that we are getting ready for the next parabolic phase, just like always. And then we also see crazy accumulation from the actual ETFs, from BlackRock, like daily, adding like 3,000, 4,000, 8,000 Bitcoin a day. Just one company. And this is what we're seeing right now. As soon as Grayscale stops it, then we have no selling pressure from ETFs, and we only have buying pressure. So nobody cares about this, I guess. And also the amount of liquidity we have to the upside in Bitcoin rather than to the downside, which is what I'm just showing you what we're seeing, what is the reality right now. And then we're going to discuss the wars that could possibly happen. So stick around till the end. I'm just giving you context as to what the market is showing us and what Bitcoin is telling us right now. Then certainly we are going into February, which historically is just a good month overall. And usually when January is not doing very well, then February is actually coming to rescue historically. But again, okay, this could also be nothing. And a lot of people, what they're also not paying attention to is that Hong Kong is on the move right now as well. And Harvest Hong Kong, one of the largest China's fund, has filed a Bitcoin spot ETF application to Hong Kong Securities and Exchange Futures Commission. And this is the first institution in Hong Kong to submit a Bitcoin ETF application. So even Hong Kong is going into the ETFs, and Hong Kong's got a lot of money. So all of these things put together, and people are still thinking about 20K. Okay, so, and usually, as I told you, this is like this article right here, that many retail investors see Bitcoin price dropping below 20K by the end of the year. And this is the survey done by Deutsche Bank, and this is the conclusion they actually reached, that majority of people actually are expecting Bitcoin below 20K by the end of the year. Remember that whenever retail expects something, us as smart people, for example, in my hedge fund and my analysts, we always look at the opposite, because usually market makers and big players, they really just always squeeze the retail and get them screwed up. So, and that's how we make most of the money, So therefore, I don't really care much about this, but there are really two worries right now, two wars that could actually make it somehow possible, or arguably. First one is the civil war in the United States, because right now it is pretty crazy, quite frankly. We have this situation in Texas, where Texas is just going against Supreme Court, against the Biden administration, and they're just saying, you know what, we're tired of all these immigrants, millions of people just entering the United States and committing crime and doing all bunch of stuff, according to the news and stuff. So therefore, the Texas mobilized the National Guard going against the federal government, and 25 U.S. states are actually supporting them. So that's half of the United States. This is basically what it would look like. Like really half of the United States, red states, are supporting Texas in this. And 25 U.S. state governors signed a petition to support Texas against the federal government, and some of them are also mobilizing their National Guard. So, and in hopes to actually come and support Texas. And the government abbot of Texas, we actually said that they're actually ready for war with federal authorities. So if we would see a civil war in the United States, which at this point seems very unlikely and crazy, but it has happened before, so why wouldn't it be able to happen now? And especially when there is such a good reason. And what if this would happen? Would Bitcoin actually dump, or would Bitcoin actually pump? So I'm going to give you my opinion in just a second, but let's discuss the second thing. And yeah, so basically there's so many news, you can actually check them out yourself, about how these events are unfolding in the US, and this is serious shit. So it is something that, there is no smoke without a fire somewhere. So that being said, it is worth paying attention to, but this is arguably even more important. That China sends several warplanes, Navy ships, etc. towards Taiwan after US-China talks. So there is an escalation right now between China and the United States because of Taiwan, because this is an old story, but it keeps escalating. So, and you just have to remember that if there would be an invasion of China versus Taiwan, for example, and they would just, have a similar situation to Ukraine, for example, then it would be much worse economically than the Russia-Ukraine war, simply because of this right here. That Taiwan's semiconductor companies are crucial to the global supply chain, and in 2022 they produced 60% of the world's semiconductor chips. So if there would be the disruption of this supply chain, this would be absolutely insane. Computers, cars, phones, whatever that sustains our current spoiled lifestyle of us as human beings and our human race would actually have a huge effect. And this would also in turn affect what? That's right, inflation. And therefore the question then becomes, if this would break out, would it all just diminish everything that we have going for Bitcoin right now, or would it actually promote it even more. And for this, we can just go into the history, into the very recent history, and analyze what Bitcoin has done. Certainly, these things are not nice. Another war for the world right now that is already economically broken in half almost, with everything we're saying, money printing, this and that. It's pretty crazy. And like, it's also very torn politically, quite frankly. So having another war and civil war in the US, which is just weakening the whole, the powerhouse of the United States, which is not great. And you would think that the markets would crash. And in my opinion, traditional markets certainly would crash, especially maybe high-tech sector and quite a few other ones, and big destabilization in commodities markets, absolutely possible. And gold would probably pump in this kind of an environment of uncertainty. But then about Bitcoin, what would happen to Bitcoin? And should we actually worry about this? Are these people from the Deutsche Bank, these retailers who actually were in this survey, are they right? And in my opinion, if we look at any type of uncertainty in the past, especially, for example, here, as you might remember, here we had a lot of uncertainty. Here we had crypto uncertainty because that's why it was dumping. So Terra Luna, Celsius, FTX, God forbid, remembering that shit. So, but then when we had this stability, and that's why, we had no, it was pretty horrific for crypto. But when we saw problems in the traditional space, remember what happened? We had very nice pumps right here in this vicinity because banks, Silicon Valley Bank, also Signature Bank, and a lot of other ones that actually were scrambling for liquidity, for money, until Fed came out and bailed them out as usual. So printing money again. This is when Bitcoin actually saw a lot of new money inflows into the space because people started to realize, holy shit, the system is garbage. And how many of people still are not questioning how bad the current system is, the current fiat system, the dollar, whatever, the biggest Ponzi scheme out there. How many people are questioning this right now? They are not. So when we see that the Bitcoin is really ready for another huge run because of all these things, everything is lining up for the biggest cycle ever, for the biggest pump ever, and we have these things, which in my opinion, honestly, just giving me my opinion here, this would make Bitcoin short-term perspective, whatever happens, the same thing with COVID, whatever has happened, we had a dip because of the fear, weak hands, people selling off, and because somebody's selling off, others will also sell off. So we're going to have short-term sell-off, certainly, whatever happens. But long-term, 3, 4, 5 months, 1 year, Bitcoin is, in my opinion, because of these things here, is going to pump even crazier because of the same philosophy, because this is what it was built for. It was built for the times of uncertainty, for the times of possibly even when we had the Ukraine war. Initially dumped a bit, but then it pumped like crazy because there came a lot of demand for USDT, for Bitcoin from Ukraine and also from Russia just to get the money out of those territories. It is how it is. Bitcoin is the answer for these things, and it was built after the collapse of Lehman Brothers in 2008 and the collapse of the financial markets in general and the Great Recession and the collapse of the housing market. So these things, I wouldn't worry about them. Hold your Bitcoin. Don't let FUD make you sell your Bitcoin. These things here, even though could be quite bad and quite sad, I think at the end of the day will benefit Bitcoin long term. Short term a sell-off, long term huge benefit. So therefore, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm going to keep you guys posted. Remember about the bonuses with Bybit. You need to trade somewhere, so get ready. Huge volatility coming. We'll be posting a lot of crazy trades. Join my community. Join the Discord. Link down in the description of this video after you join Bybit using my link. And check out this quick tutorial so that you actually know how to replicate my trades that I post here on YouTube or the trades that you see in the community so that you actually know how to take them properly. And as always, peace and love. Thomas Crollo. Don't fall for FUD. Don't sell your Bitcoin, the craziest asset in the entire world. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.